Welcome to the initiative HP Online Teaching Assistant by HP Education. Today, we will explain how to use Kahoot in the classroom. In today's educational session, we'll explore Kahoot as a Web 2.0 tool and how to use it as an evaluation resource. And today's objectives will be: create questions easily, design a user-friendly test because, as you'll see, the interface permits it, share the Kahoot with the community, and finally, evaluate our students with Kahoot. With this tool, you'll see that you can evaluate students' previous knowledge about the topic you're going to see with the students. They can do it in game mode, which will let you know how they are regarding that topic. Then in the continuous evaluation section, we'll be able to do a mini questionnaire, so to speak, in game mode. My recommendation is that you use Kahoot as support or extra resource. It is best not to use it as a standalone evaluation resource. Let's move on to the tool. As I mentioned in the beginning, Kahoot is a Web 2.0 tool, so the only thing we need to create the Kahoot is a computer, a browser, and an internet connection. I already have my session open, but first I want to clarify something. If I type Kahoot in my browser, these two options appear: Kahoot.com and Kahoot.it. Pay attention here, because if I go to Kahoot.it, this is the Kahoot website to start the game, i.e., where students can type the PIN to enter the Kahoot. But it won't allow me to create any kind of test. To create the Kahoot, let's go to Kahoot.com and click to log in. Look at how to change the URL, create.kahoot.it. From here, I can create my own quizzes. If you don't already have your Kahoot account, you can register, preferably with an educational account, since it will give you some extra features that personal accounts don't have. This is the Kahoot home screen, and we are going to go step by step, focusing on how to create our first quiz. Where do I generate the first quiz, test, or that first fun game? For this, we go to the Kahoots tab. Here, all the Kahoots you've made will appear. With premium accounts, you can create folders to organize Kahoots. Kahoot has some plans that are premium and paid. The version I have is free, and according to the paid plan, you'll have access to more options. The way to detect it is when we see this crown symbol. If the crown appears, it means that it requires a premium plan. My recommendation is that you start with the free account, see its potential and the benefits you can get from it, and if needed, upgrade to the paid plans. Once here, we begin from Create New or from this button that says Create. It's the same. So here I have these three options. I'm going to choose a new Kahoot. This is the Kahoot Editor. In the left panel, we have the slide where we'll add the question. That means for each question, I add a slide. If I click on Add Question, I see the possible questions that I can add, which in the case of the free version, lets me add a quiz and a true or false type question. The rest of the options are premium. Let's create the first question. Up here, I can write, how much is 2 plus 2? Let's start with an easy one. I can select the text and put it in bold type, italics, put a subscript, superscript, or insert symbols. Here we have special characters like currency, math, Greek, and others. Time limit. From here, I can change the question's duration time for kids to answer it. It goes from 5 seconds to 240 seconds, which is equivalent to 4 minutes. That is, the time they'll have from the moment the question opens until it closes. This generates dynamism in the game and urgency, a motivation to want to respond before the time runs out. The idea is not to be short on time because it can be somewhat frustrating, but not too much either as it becomes boring. It's important here that we think about our students. On average, how long would it take a student to read the question, comprehend it, then read the answers, and choose the correct answer? Points are usually a premium feature, and we can say that the question is worth 0, 1,000, or 2,000 points. In answer options, we have these two, but the multi-select option is for premium, so I can only ask single answer questions. In this box here, we'll be able to do three things: drag an image that we have on our computer and put it here, or we can also upload an image, or insert an image from the Kahoot library, or directly insert a YouTube video, which comes in handy to expand the explanation of a concept. I'm going to select an image from the library. Anyone. Done. Here, I can crop the image. In this case, I zoom in the image and I move it until it's contained the way I want in the box. Now let's put the possible answers. We have 4 options. It's not mandatory to include all 4. Kahoot only requires we have 2 options. The 3rd and 4th are optional. In this case, I'm going to put 4 being the correct one. Here I'm going to put 6, here 9, and finally 1. Now I just have to check off the correct answer from here. In the answers, we have the option to add images instead of text. We can add an image from the library as I did before, or upload it from our computer. For example, you might ask, which painting corresponds to the painter Edvard Munch? And in the answers, I would add pictures of paintings, including the Scream, which is the correct answer. We've got the first question. Another feature that can be useful is Import Spreadsheet. If I have questions created and click, you'll see that in this box it prompts me to download a template where I have to insert the questions with their answers and then drag it here to upload them. This speeds up the process. And there's also the option to use Kahoot's question bank. Here we can write the question or something related to the question. For example, I will write "The Scream" to see what will appear. Look, here it is. Who painted the Scream? So I click on Add and I have the question left in my Kahoot. If I wish to, I can edit it. Once we have our questions, we go to Settings at the top. Here we will write the title, for example, General Knowledge. That will be the title of my questionnaire. I can add a description, save to. In this case, remember that being the free version, it would stay in My Kahoots since I can't have folders. You cannot activate branding, but it does serve to show the school logo, for example. From here, we can choose the language. In visibility, if we select Only You, it means other people won't be able to see your Kahoot. I'm going to select Everyone, and this option allows other people to find your Kahoot and can even reuse some of your questions or your complete Kahoot. I can also choose a different cover image and the lobby music. Once we finish, we click Done. And again, Done from this button. And we get this message, which means that our first Kahoot has now been created. Go back to My Kahoots, and now the question is, how do I get my students to connect and play? Very simple. I click Play. But first, I want to show you the options you have here. From the 3 dots, we can edit, duplicate, rename, share, and delete the Kahoot. So then, if I click Play, I have these 2 options. Play a live game, which is ideal for virtual classrooms, or I can assign it as a challenge for self-paced learning. I really like the option of using it live to dynamize those video conferencing or virtual classes. It opens a new tab and see that the URL shows play.kahoot.it. Here we have 2 modes of play. One is that each student has a device and responds, and the other is do it in teams, that is, several students on the same device. Well, I'm going to pick the classic option. Before we look at the configuration options, this option of personalized learning is premium. Friendly Nickname Generator. I can enable this option to avoid inappropriate nicknames. Lobby music. Here we can change it. Also, I'll activate Randomize Order of Questions. Randomize Order of Answers is useful so they can't copy them. But if I have a linear questionnaire, I would have to disable the randomization of the questions. Be sure to disable this 2-step join option as it requires 2 steps for users to join. Automatically move through questions when the time of one or the other runs out. My recommendation, teachers, is not to do it, because in some instances, we might want to pause on a question because we want to see who got it right, how the class is doing, socialize the answers, open a debate, etc. And finally, we click on Play by clicking on Classic. Now for students to join, they just have to enter from their computer or cell phone, access a browser, put in this address, www.kahoot.it, and they must enter the PIN. I'll copy and paste it for you to see. Then it will prompt them to put in a name. Here's another recommendation. It's good that when you ask your students to log in, they use name.surname. Why? To make it easier to identify. I'm going to click Start so you can see how it works. You'll see that in the teacher interface, the question and the possible answers appear, while in the student interface, the forms related to the answers appear. So I select the answer, and here in the teacher interface, the answer appears to me. Here, I could stop and talk about the answers, or I can click Next to move on to the next question. Once we have finished the test, I click Next and I have this option, Get Feedback. And in the student interface, a short survey appears. Once students have completed, the results appear to me here. I can click on View Full Report and Report Options. I can download the report or save it in Google Drive and then open it in Google Sheet. Now I'm going to open the Excel with the report. This is where the magic of this game happens for us to evaluate. This Excel gives us all the players' information, with each of their names and how they responded, whether it was correct or not, etc. That's the importance of name and surname, so it will be easier to identify them. To sum up, Kahoot allows us to evaluate our students' knowledge in a playful and fun way. They will have fun in the process, and in the end, I, as a teacher, have an evaluation resource at my disposal. Well, this will be all for today. Hopefully, it was useful. Thank you for watching this video offered by HP Online Teaching Assistant, an initiative of HP Education.